That's my mama up there with me. Look at me. I was probably 9, 10, 11 years old. My mama, rest her soul. Rest her soul. Hey, Steph. Steph, are you trying? You're being the voice of reason again. At least when you do it right. I think I want to share something here real quick because somebody over there was running their mouth about something, and they wanted to discuss something that happened over there. So I want to share something really quick. And there's been some problems with my audio when I'm playing a video up here. So what I'm going to do is refer you to the direct video so you can see it, just in case my sound isn't right. Because a Hello Starlight wants to stir up some shit with me, so I love nothing better than to come right back at her. And I guess the thing that we were talking about here is what's appropriate racially. What can you say? What can you say and it be considered a racist statement? Terms of endearment, stuff like that. That's what we've been speaking on. But someone wanted to get up on that panel and mention my son's case and how that should be, maybe that should be brought up. And everybody knows that I brought my entire son's case up. I had all the video, all the documents, and everything on my other channel. I have no issues with people bringing up that case to talk about it in a true crime type of way. But it seems like when people get mad at me or I call somebody out, they just want to grab a shovel and dig that little boy up. But his name is Ryan Lucas St. John, and he was convicted of murdering a 2-year-old child, and he deserves to be exactly where he's at. I haven't talked to him in months. I haven't sent him money in months. It's been more than a year since I've seen him. Because the longer it goes, the less enthused I am about seeing him. But he is my son, and I can't hate him. There should be if there was a button that could turn love for your child on or off, and I could press the off button, I would do that. But instilled in us, that's still my child. Period. He's a piece of shit, and he deserves what he got. He's lucky he didn't get a death penalty. But that's that. But I want to talk about something else here, a little bit of racism that I want to share. And I don't know, like yesterday, I was trying to play a video on here, and I've got the Yeti Nano, and I've got Bose set up. And for some reason, the playback isn't so good on this video. I put it up yesterday because I think I need to contact somebody too. Now's the time for me to dig something up, that happened quite a long time ago. It has to do with racism and who do we support and who flocks together. So let's take a look at what I want to share here real quick. And I did try to call Starlight tonight, and she wouldn't answer the phone for me. That's fine, because I wanted to handle this behind the scenes. She called me back while I was leaving a voicemail. But, you can bring that up over on that panel. That's absolutely fine. And I would encourage people, hey, if you want to run it as a true crime thing, that's fine. But also, you need to include the fact that I turned him in and walked him directly over to the police. And you need to include the fact that I was a witness for the state, even though they didn't call me to the stand. I don't stand behind what he did. I'm not trying to make any excuses for what he did. But at first, at my very first post about it, when I was doing my true crime channel, and most of them that I was speaking up for kids that were abused or murdered, that was where I like to fall into my true crime, and I did quite well with that. I wish some people that know me now would have knew that channel that I had, because I never went live. And the only time I went live, I would just make really good videos. And the only time I really went live was on the Chris Watts case. And to be quite honest with you, I hit that live button when I saw what Molly said about Shanann Watts. And I felt like I needed to go live and call that out. And hello, drama community. That's what happened with me. I was on here for 11 years with never going live. I was getting 180, 200,000 views. And I never turned my monetization on neither. I wasn't interested in making money. I was interested in telling the story. The only reason I turned my monetization on after that is because Laura and Molly were going at me. You've been here 12 years and you ain't got your monetization on. I said, because I haven't turned it on. And then I turned it on the next day. All right. So I kind of fell into the whole drama. Let's make some money off of this. And I was really good at the drama, except for the fact that, it's probably 75% females in here. And a lot of them will play that, hey, why are you talking to a woman like that? Why they're calling you a fat slob, piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work out well for men. This is just the drama community is dominated by women. and that's fine. Most of them I just love them. Most of them, even the ones that are mean, I just love them. But if you're going to say something to me, it doesn't matter to me if you got tits or not. What I'm not going to do is slap you upside the head, but I am going to insult the shit out of them. I can do that. Everybody knows my track record through the years with females on a personal level, is that I'm very respectful to them until they are disrespectful to me. Now, out here you can walk away from. Out here you can walk away and you don't have to put up with it anymore. But if you're trying to have a YouTube channel, you're always going to have them saying stuff and that. But anyways, I guess Starlight was up there running her pie hole. And she knows I'm not somebody to mess with. I just don't get it. But again, when people have nothing else, I have an opinion about that word being used towards that child. That's it. I have an opinion. That doesn't have anything to do with my son's case. It has nothing to do with my son's case. And I was talking about this the other day quickly before I share this. I was talking about this the other day, and I've been kind of mulling it over in my head. And I actually called Rel about it, and we talked about it because he's good with the law, and so am I. And he's like, it is what it is. But here's the thing that I'm dealing with in my life about it. Yeah, that's what she did. And here's what I've been dealing with as far as that case goes. Now, he got 18 years to life, and he'll probably serve a life sentence because in Ohio we don't let child killers out. In the past, they've done it, and they've turned around and done the same thing again. And I honestly don't think, if it wasn't my son, I would say never let him out. But I do believe that he needs to serve at least the minimum and maybe more. And he seems to think that when he hits the parole board in 2034 that they're going to let him out. And I've tried to tell him, they're not going to let you out. They're going to flop you 10 years. They're going to flop you 10 years. But anyways, this independent lawyer looked at his case, and he took it back to the DA over here. And I'm not good with this. I'm just going to tell you what's going on. They feel like they charged him incorrectly. And it's up in the air right now. They feel like they charged him incorrectly because of a doctor's statement that was made while this child was on life support. And the doctor's statement was that if he lived, he would be severely brain damaged, and you would have to be round the clock care for him, right? This lawyer is from another state. He took a look at the case, and he is about 75% got the DA convinced that they should have charged him with felonious assault with severe they didn't want felonious assault that led to severe damage, because in their eyes, in this particular lawyer's eyes, whom I haven't talked to, I don't want to talk to, I don't want nothing to do with it. In this particular lawyer's eyes, since they chose to disconnect that child from life support, Braden, that Luke's infliction of wounds on him were not what actually ended his life. I'm not down with that. If they were to go back and charge him with the felonious, that would be a 15-year sentence to a child. It would be 15, and he's already been in for 6. So they're talking about the possible reduction in sentence, which would put him out. Not right away, but in another few years, 6, 7 years. And I got to thinking about that. And I'm like, no. That's the first thing that came to my mind is no. That's a technicality. They felt like they didn't want their child to suffer. I'm having to address it because it was brought up in a chat over there. Okay. I didn't see it, and somebody told me about it, and I did not see where she said it. Okay. Okay, but look over on my community post This person named Gnome kept saying you should do this case, and granted, Natasha didn't pay any attention to it, and I can't sit here and say I did not see what Starlight said. I haven't seen the website, and I asked what the website was. If anybody has the website that they're talking about, please mail it to me or put it in the chat if anybody has it, because I don't want to go at Starlight if that's what was done. But so I guess here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Did oh, she mentioned me and my son's case. Well, that's what I was told. She mentioned me and my son's case. I was told she mentioned me and my son's case, and there's really no reason for that. Just because I have an opinion about what Natasha said, and I don't mess with Natasha. I've actually been over there. Right. Well, it's on my community post, and I actually went over there. Save Robbie vouched for me one time, and Natasha said, "Well, I've heard this and that," and Save Robbie. And I watched a couple chats of hers, and I was nice, and I checked it out, and it just wasn't for me, right? So I backed away. No problem. Sometimes I'll look at a channel. If it's not for me, I won't. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing against anybody. We pick and choose what we like. Some people like rap music. Some people like country music. Some people like rock and roll. We listen to what we want to listen to. And I had nothing bad to say about Natasha. The fight is between those two. Yeah. Right. See, I did when I was told about this, what was going on over there. I did ask, where's the website? Where did she say it? Because I wanted to see it. I want to see it for myself. Now, I don't really think that my son's case should be mentioned at all when there's a fight, but that's a lot of people's go-to, in the drama community, especially if I'm getting out on them pretty well. And then they go, well, your son did this, your son did that. Everybody that I've argued with has done that. Everybody. And I've come to expect that. But it hasn't been going on for the longest time. And, just like that gnome. Yeah. Okay. All right. And another, but really, what does that have to do? Only said another creator, BSJ's son, was convicted of murder, and that was all that was said. I mean, there's really no reason for that to be brought up on the cast in Natasha's chat or her panel. See, I don't have a beef with Natasha. I don't have a beef with her. I do have an opinion about what she said, and I've already stated that. If she wants to do it, if she's going over there, and I've seen some things that just make me don't want to go over there. Period. But she's free to do whatever she wants to do on YouTube, and all power to those who can get. See, this is the thing. People say, well, they give her money, they give her money, they give her money, but I don't think she's ripping it out of her pockets. Natasha Cooper mentioned it. Well, see, I didn't see that. I was looking for it, and that's fine. But I would suggest Natasha Cooper get. Because I had everything up. I had the entire case up in video form, word for word, every document. My first initial thing was he's guilty. He did it. I don't want nothing to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And lots of people kept telling me, you cannot say that. You can't do that. That's your son. You don't know the story. But that was my first initial thing is, yes, he did it. And then he started saying he didn't do it and blah, blah, blah. It's just hard when you have him saying, no, I heard this before, and I'm not saying who brought it to my attention. Period. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's there. Whoever brought it to my attention did a good thing for me. I can tell you that. If it's there, if it's being said. All right? Because my son's case has absolutely nothing to do with a word that was tossed out, and that's what everybody's arguing about is the word. If people need me to send them a shovel, then I'll be glad to mail you a shovel so you can go dig that baby up and he can't rest in peace. Hi, Lolo. Uh, I heard you more come in under your real account. Right. So somebody says, let me go back up here and be sure. All right. It was Lola. Yeah, I never. She can mention me in my son's case all she wants because I've already put it up there. But please get all the records and understand that I am the one who turned him into the police. I am the one who turned him into the police. And I get accused of a lot of things that never happened within that case because people don't know. But, I know that Natasha does crime cases. And I guess that case wasn't important to her unless you have an opinion against her. That's what it seems like. I didn't hear. I'm talking about Hello Starlight up there mentioning it. Right. And yeah, and anybody that brought if you see someone speaking about one of your friends somewhere, and you say, hey man, this person said this and that, there's nothing wrong with that. Come on, man, and it doesn't matter who. How's that Steph's fault? Actually, it is. And the main thing that I got mad at Randy about is when she said, "You harassed that family. You harassed that family, Brian." And there are some faked up screenshots out there that make me look really bad, but they've already been admitted to. They've already been admitted to that no, he didn't make those. We made that, and blah blah blah. And lots of people heard it. All I can say is about. I'm gonna explain this one more time. Those we knew each other, those families, before this happened. We were friendly. And a matter of fact, we were wheeling and dealing together. We knew each other. We were friendly. They've been in and out of the house, and then this happened, and we still live in the same neighborhood. So, granted, there's going to be a whole lot of fighting. Don't ever let the death of a child, a murder death of a child, if it ever comes to your family, you're going to understand. You're going to understand the fighting. Dylan Klebold's mother is still getting hate today, and she had no idea what her son was going to do. It's not Steph's fault. Yeah, it's your fault, Steph. That's you typing in the chat. So I wouldn't want anybody to be in that position. And the fact of the matter is, I made my first wife divorced when he was 12 years old, and I moved out to Colorado Springs. As far as parenting goes, we didn't raise our child to do that. We didn't encourage that. We don't want our children to be violent. We don't want our children to cause harm to other people. But sometimes kids just don't listen. And you can be the best parent in the world and still end up with a fucked up child. Period. That's the bottom line. And they try to make it seem like that I was glad that this happened, that I got off on it. And that's not what happened. I've been with my wife for 17 years now. And she's always known me as that tough guy protector that I handle my business. I've done everything that any woman would expect out of a husband for her. And that's what people don't know. And you're not going to keep a spouse unless you know. But the only time that she's ever seen me bawl like a baby and cry my eyes out is when they called and told me that boy died. And the first thing that came to my head when they told me that he passed away, the first thing that just came out of my mouth was that motherfucker, that baby killing motherfucker. That was my first initial response to that. And it still sits there. So I'm stuck with a son who did some shit like this. I'm stuck with him. There's just absolutely no way that any parent, outside of them doing something personally to them, and I know it's shitty to say, that you just don't turn that off. You just don't. It sucks to me that he has to spend the rest of his life in prison. But at the same time, I understand that's exactly where he needs to be. So what I want to do before I do this, I want to get some more information. I want to hear what was said on that panel that Hello Starlight said. I don't care what Natasha Cooper says. She can put that case up if she wants to. But you just everybody keep in mind that she wasn't worried about Braden Ferguson until I had an opinion. She can put that case up if she wants to. She can put up all this fake. I've been through it so many times. What's up, Ross dog? So I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna do the right thing on that. Right. I would agree with that. You know what? I am, because I could just as soon get a hold of that person. Because if Hello Starlight did mention my name on that panel in my son's case, there's no reason for her to do that. I can't say what Natasha Cooper can do. People can cover the case if they want. They've threatened it before. But if they cover the case, they're clearly going to see in the records that I am the one who walked him down to the police department, to the police. He was hiding out, and we got sick and tired of him hiding. And I told him, I said, you're either the police had the house surrounded. I came from my house, and I told him, I'll reiterate this story again. I came from my house, which was a few blocks away. They had my other son's house surrounded by the police, but they did not have a warrant yet. They were waiting till the early morning to get the warrant for him. Right? They just wanted to question him at the time. So my oldest son called me and said, Dad, what am I going to do? I can't get him to go outside. Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'll be right up there. So I come walking up there, and I know my son is up in the apartment on the third floor with my other son. They know he's up there too. And I walk up to the police and I say, hey, let me give you a hand here. And they're like, well, who are you? And I said, well, I'm BryanSt.John. I'm Luke's father. And this cop started right off the bat. Well, we're going to take your kids and you're going to be arrested and blah, 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 right at me. Right? Just right off the bat. And my whole intention was to go get him for him. So I said, whoa, man. I said, I came here to help, dude. I said, I don't need you pointing and hollering at me and threatening to take my kids and everything else, and blah, blah, blah. So I started to walk away. Right? He said, no, Mr. St. John, blah, blah. I said, no, calm down, dude. I said, this is why we have a disconnect with the police, because I came to help and you threw this at me. Right? And he said, no. I said, I started walking away. I said, what? Warrants do wonders. I just sit out there then. But anyways, I need to talk about it. But I don't care if they put it up, Steph. Really, I don't. Because I've already done it. I put every single word from that case up. You weren't here for that. So anyways, he called me down. And I said, they told me they were waiting on a warrant. They couldn't get one until 7 in the morning. It was about 1:30. I said, well, instead of you guys sitting out here all night long, I said, let me go up there. Give me 10 minutes and I'll bring him down. All right? Yeah, the family members were in those groups and they were harassing at us. And I'm telling you. But anyways, I go up there. The whole house is in an uproar. My son and his wife, and then my other son, he wouldn't leave. He was scared. There were kids up there. It was ridiculous. So I knock on the door, and my oldest son lets me in, and Luke is sitting right there. And I say, here's what's going to happen, Luke. I pulled a cigarette out of my pocket. I said, you're going to smoke this cigarette, and when it's done, either I'm going to walk you down there to these police, or I'm going to open that door and let him in. And he didn't want to go. He tell me how scared he was. And I let him smoke that last cigarette. And when he got done with that cigarette, I said, suck it up, boy. I said, you got to face the music someday. And I walked him right down to the police cruiser. And they were kind to him. I'll be honest, they were kind. But I'm the one that did that. He needed to face the music. At that time, I didn't know what was going on and who did what. But, so if you cover the case, just be sure, just know that if you put something out there that's wrong, that's incorrect about the case, that I've got all the files and I can put it right back up. I put the whole case up. So if she wants to do that, that's fine. I don't care. Just because I have an opinion, you want to dig up a dead child, that's fine. I really want to hear it. And I want to hear what Hello Starlight had to say. Like I said, I did try to call her after I got word that it was said. And I know, I need to hear it myself. After I got word what was said, I tried to call her. And while I was leaving a voicemail, she tried to call back. And because I don't want to put, what I put out here on Hello Starlight, if the way I do it could be detrimental to her. If I actually contact the person that she did it to, that's also a YouTuber, with the information and where he can contact her at. Because if you want to talk about racism, if someone is making fun of a black person and they don't know about it, especially with someone they don't know, do you think that they deserve to know it or not? Or no? And so I need to see the context that she said it in. All I do know is that there's no reason for that case to be brought up over there. I had an opinion. I know what a term of endearment is and not. I know how to have an opinion without going, that fat motherfucker scammer, blah, blah, blah. Do I have Truth's back? Yes, I do. I got her back. That's a woman fight. That's between Randy and Natasha and Truth. But we can have an opinion. In my opinion, that it was wrong to do that. Not that somebody's a piece of shit. I wouldn't, I don't do that with my kids. I don't go, come here, you little cracker. Come on over here, you little honky peckerwood. I don't do that. That's, I'm not going to introduce them to those racial words. I'm not going to do that. As a matter of fact, my daughter and I just had a conversation about what racism, because she's got this black guy that, he waits for her to get on the bus, and he likes to sit with her on the bus, and he's really friendly to her on the bus. And me and Nicole were talking about it. And I said, well, I wouldn't have a problem if they had some kind of connection. I really wouldn't. I said, but I would sit down and talk to her about how other people would look at it, how other people might mess with them. But no, I really would not have an issue with that. We're not racist in this house. But I can't say that, as a white person, have I ever thrown a word around that may have been construed as racial? Yeah, I've done that. But I'm not a racist person. And if any of my daughters chose to become involved with an African American person, and he is treating her correctly, and he doesn't look like a thug, and he's not coming here with that dumb shit, then I'm cool with it. But she needs to understand that society would look at it a different way. You know what I mean? And that there's nothing wrong with me sitting her down and saying, hey, if you like this guy, that's fine, as long as he's good to you. But this is what other people will say. This is what racist people will say. They'll say, why are you dating that niglet? What's wrong with you, white girl? Yeah, as long as I'm very involved. My daughter is 14, and she's a very pretty girl. Guys like her, and I'm very involved in the guys that she talks to and wants to see. And I had my rule is, you knock on that front door, you come meet Dad. And I had one that actually did it, and I liked him. He came to the front door. Ain't that right, Jada?
What?
I'm talking about Lois Lane that came to the front door.
God, don't talk about it.
But he did. He came over and he said, well, I'm the guy that's dating your daughter, and I just want you to know that my intentions are good, and blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, that's a start. Because I'm part of the package until she turns 18 years old. So I think I'm going to wait a second. And I would appreciate if people would. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait on this one. Because I don't want to. I want to give it a day. But I can tell you this, and I know that Hello Starlight is over there saying this and that. But I can tell you that she does pass around things behind the scenes. I can tell you that she was very interested in the docs of FOD. I can tell you some stuff about her. Yeah, it was very gentlemanly like. And I liked the guy. And I was very involved in what was going on with them. Because I've got, my girls are going to be protected. There's mama bears out there and there's papa bears too. If this would, and that boy, she dated him for a while.
6 months.
About 6 months. And we were very involved. I even took him out. They took him over to Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream shop, got you guys some ice cream. And I was really involved in it. But he kind of did a shitty thing to her. He broke up with her for no reason. And then they decided that and the reason was he broke up with her because his grandpa was sick. And I said, Jada, you're better than that. And she was crying, Daddy broke up with me. That's what girls do, right? We all know that. So I texted him and I said, and she said, we're going to work it out. I said, no, you're not. I said, you are not going to work it out with that boy. So I texted him and I said, you made my little girl cry once and you don't get that chance again. And that's it. No, I actually went and picked him up with her in the car. I said, hey, man, you want to go get some ice cream? And I took him to.
It was my birthday.
That was her birthday. I took him to the Ben and Jerry's ice cream shop. If you ever have never been to original Ben and Jerry's, it's great. But he made her cry once, and he doesn't get that chance second time. And that's it. And I wasn't mean to him about it either, was I?
Nope.
Dad will protect you. There's nothing worse for a dad to see than his daughter crying over some idiot boy. Idiot boy.
I'm friends with him again, though.
You know, you can be friendly with him, but he's not your boyfriend.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. Any boy that gets up, you know, especially if you get older.
She's trying her hair with
Yeah. You know, there's a country song about cleaning the shotgun.
Wow.
About daddy's cleaning the shotgun.
Huh?
I'll play it for you one time. I didn't take him on a date, though. But as far as this whole Hello Starlight thing, I did reach out to her. I left her a voicemail. I'm going to see what she has to say. I want to see what was exactly said up there on the panel. Natasha can talk about the case all she wants. You know, that's no biggie to me. Yeah. All right. What crime case is there? He did it. He was convicted. That's it. There's nothing interesting about it, unless you want to be angry at somebody that had an opinion about you and dig up this child. And I do know one thing about Braden Ferguson's life. His little 2-year life that he had that was taken from him. I'm pretty sure he'd rather not be remembered or brought up as a retort to someone that had an opinion against you. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, because I want to look into it more. You know, I want to look into it more before I go flipping off at the mouth. Because, you know, sometimes being impulsive just start a whole bunch of shit. And, you know, she's over there in her lane. I know what Starlight is. Okay? I know what she is. That used to be my friend. I was tight with her. Her kids were talking to my kids on Roblox. I was tight with her. I cared a lot about her when she first got on here. Until she befriended a CPS caller. And when FOD sent CPS to my house for no reason and got my daughters questioned, is your daddy touching you? And I asked her, I said, how could you do that? How could you be up there on her panel? And she said, well, I really have no excuse for that. I find her entertaining. That's what Hello Starlight did to me. That's what she did to me. And I have the means, and I could rip her ass apart. And if I see that, and if I see she mentioned that case up there, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. What's up? I'm talking my sister. I can't even see it. Yeah, I see that. I did. I want to right in the middle of something. I said, what? Read what?
Read my message.
I don't know. What? Right where?
All of it.
I don't have. What? All I see. You want me to read this whole thing?
Yeah, it's not much.
Well, give me a second. Give me a second, because I'm right here talking.
I'll come back in about 2 minutes.
Or I'll talk to you on Facebook about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know that's exactly what they did. Well, they didn't believe the story for it all, right? So my kids had laughed at all. What the hell, you know? But Starlight and Ash 274 was my mod. All those people flocked over to that person after they did that, and I'd never done anything to Hello Starlight until she befriended that person. I'm like, what the fuck? And seriously, when I was over here and I was just trashing Molly Golightly and I was going after those people they didn't like because I was rabid and I was nasty and I was mean. And some of that stuff that Randy accuses me of, I did in defense of Starlight and some of those others. John Crimes. Oh, it was all fine when I was doing it for them. It was all fine. And I'm going to tell you now, people accuse me of doxing. That full-on drama chick, I doxed the shit out of her. I doxed her the fuck out of her. I'm going to tell you why I did it, because she's a CPS caller. And she got children in this question that way. And I felt like the community should know it. And when I doxed her, I used Google Maps. I flew over to the fucking top of her house. I mentioned her dad. I mentioned her husband, where she worked at, all of it. Because somebody that is that fucking sick. All I did to Fod was kick her out of my chat. That's it. She put up a video saying that people should call CPS on us and blah, 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 blah. If people want to talk about we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, you're talking to a guy that has had his company net profile put up. Somebody pointing at, this is where he works. This is who you should call. Trying to get me to tell him what a piece of shit. And people did. Didn't cost me my job, though. So we're talking about things that should and shouldn't be done. If you guys remember 4 or 5 years ago when Laura and I got into it, and she kept calling me a moron over and over and over again on my panel, I was like, Laura, that's not how you debate. And she kept doing it. She said, well, you're a moron, right? I said, Laura, you're being insulted. That's not how you do that. She goes, well, I think you're a fucking moron, Brian. And I said, well, I think you're a fucking cunt. That word, that was like the worst thing that the drama community had done at the time. They went on about that word, me saying that word to a woman for weeks. And now look what we have. Now look what we have. So I got, and I'm going to tell you now, Randy called me a doxer. That's fine because I did dox her. And even Randy was friendly with FOD after that. More than friendly. We all saw it. So you can't sit and say you don't support this and you don't support that when you're actually in love with it. Because they're really, and I'm not knocking Randy. These are truths that I'm telling. But they were, Fob was saying, I love you, you love me. We all saw it. Even after the CPS. So there, I don't give a damn if somebody says doxing is doxing or not. I was doing a live on about, this is how I met Fod. I was doing a live about swatting and the effects of swatting. I had a pretty good chat going on. See, my chats used to run 300-400 people. And Fod comes in there and said, my mother was killed during a swatting incident. And I didn't know who it was. Didn't know Fod. And I said, oh, yeah, that's terrible. I said, come on up and tell us about it. And she goes, I don't care. She deserved to be killed. And I said, all right, you're gone. And I booted her. That's how I met Fod. And since I booted Fod from my chat, and she's a living troll, then the next day she's going, BryanSt.John, blah, blah, blah. We should call CPS. And delusional dispeller was even on there talking about, we should call CPS. And then she admitted she called CPS. And then they came out here. Makeup Mobster actually called my police department to find out if they came out here. So you want to talk about somebody that's been through some of this bullshit in the drama community? Laura had CPS called her like 3 times. I had him call me twice in 1 week. Fod even threatened to send CPS to Hello Starlight's house. But all the friends and now Fod was good at being a troll. I'll give you that. He made good videos. But all the people that I thought were my friends flocked over to FOD, including Hello Starlight. So that to me means you support a CPS caller, even if it's your own fucking friend. And I said on a panel, I said on a live one time on Starlight's. I was on Starlight's panel. I used to mod for Starlight. And someone swatted her while it happened, while the live was going on. And she cried and she was upset. And we went after that person. That person is no longer part of this community. We went after that person. But then when it happened to me, they went to the person with love. And you want to talk about swatting. Swatting is bad, but there's nothing worse than having to go outside with detectives and police while your two children are being questioned that way. I'd rather be swatted. I thought I was going to jail for something I didn't do. If they would have misconstrued if they were misunderstood anything that my kid said, I'd be in jail. Even though nothing, they just laughed. They're like, what? That's the furthest thing. Come on. Child molesters are sick and disgusting people. I don't see how anybody can find anything sexy about a child. I talk to my kids. I talk to them, I'm their friend. I was just telling Jay the other day, I said, you go shave your armpits. Nasty.
I just did it.
Right, and you did it, right? That's the kind of father-dad thing that we've got. There's no way, ever that I even think like that towards any child. I ain't got no shirt on. Let me back out of the camera. You guys come say hi.
No,
all right, because I don't have no shirt on, and they give a shit for that.
My hair looks nice.
It don't matter. I don't care. I got no shirt on. It's hot in here. Kylie, come in front of the camera. They're getting ready for school. These are my girls. And a lot
for school.
Yeah, huh? You getting ready? You guys are brushing up for school for the morning, right? Is that what you're doing? But a lot of people have watched these two grow up on here. I have had people from the Ferguson camp come on here when me and Jada were sitting doing a live, talking about, look how creepy they are together, blah, blah, blah. Ooh. Remember when you told that woman, we were sitting here doing a live about something, and you told that woman that came in, Dream of Coltrane, came in my chat and said, look, you look creepy with that little girl sitting there, blah, blah, blah. And you said, you know what? I don't appreciate you saying that because that's more than my dad. He's also my best friend. Right? And Kylie, come on up here. When I first started doing this, she was a baby.
Hi.
And this is what I'm around. Right? Now, do you think let me ask you, because you're a little bit older. Do you think if you're calling a man names, if you're calling him names, right? You're going, you're disgusting, you're a fat slob, you're a piece of shit, and he calls you a bitch in return for that, do you think he's wrong?
Wait, say it again?
If you're being aggressive towards a boy, you're calling him names, you're saying mean things to him, and if he comes back at you and says something mean to you, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he's wrong?
No.
Why?
Because I was saying so first.
Right. Do you think that because you're a girl that you're weaker than the boys?
No.
Okay. That's my child's. But let me turn this off because they know I want to see my fat ass all night with no shirt on. Yes, they are. Twanda, they're not used to me being home all the time, and that's one of the good things about it is I get to spend a little more time with my kids and get to tell them. Like Kylie, I'm telling her every day. She's not real responsive. I'm like, I'm proud of you. You're a good girl. Blah blah blah. I give it to them all the time. Like so, and then when they do wrong, I give it to them all the time. Like Jada wants me to drive her all across town back and forth to school, which there is a bus, and she's safe on the bus. But Jada's not real good about doing housework, are you?
No.
You don't clean the house. We do it. And I said, well, you want something from us, and you ain't doing nothing. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So I treat them like little adults, and they respond to that. And then in my avatar there, that's me when I was about 11 years old with my mom. She died in 2013.
So you were only a year younger.
Yeah. I like that.
You're like 8 then.
That was New Year's. Oh, you know what? I know what that is. That is New Year's 1980. So that made me 11 going on 12 right there.
Mom was like 6.
In 1980? Your mother wasn't even born.
She wasn't even born. I thought you said 1980.
Your mother was. I am about 14 years and a few months older than you.
So you could drive before she could walk.
No, I didn't have a license. I was in, I think I was a junior in high school when she was born. Yes. Actually, Tawana, these girls are so much different. Like Jada attests to this, and she's got a smart mouth, and she's kind of lazy. She thinks she's better than everybody.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. You want to hear this from the community?
What?
You're 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
Hey, do you think that a 14-year-old girl should ever be telling their mother to shut up? That's not funny. Yeah, even the dog agrees. You hear him?
She likes to yell at me.
But you don't tell her to shut up.
But she's allowed to yell at us.
Yeah, she's
For
allowed.
no reason.
And you have been getting smarter with it. You've been getting smart with her. You guys don't do that to me.
Because you're nicer.
Your mother is the disciplinarian. I'm the one that said, no, don't do that to them. Cut it out.
And mom gets mad at you.
But I do get mad at you guys though sometimes, but you have to really mess with
Yeah, it's only if you do something like really dumb. Mom just yells at us for no reason.
I see you, Pepper. Oh, but these people on here, he's a bad dad. They should call CPS, and he's abusive to those kids, and they're scared of him. You guys ain't scared of me a bit. You scared of her?
Yeah.
Your mother's fucking crazy. She won't put her hands on you, but she will scream you to death. Oh, she might like you up, Jenny, because you're smart. You getting smart. You better never put your hands on your mother.
She deserves it.
You guys better never put your hands on your mother. You will go to jail for that.
She deserves it.
No, she does not.
Yes, she does.
I swear. Because you guys look like you're gonna do it sometimes. You and your mother. Janet, if you ever put your hands on her, I'm telling you, I'm calling the police. You're going to jail.
Right. Okay, but she should have been at the cop car on her.
But she's not. You guys just don't understand her. She's not as mad as she thinks. It is funny when she's mad, though. Isn't it?
It's even funnier when you make faces when she's yelling.
She does.
She makes that scrunched up
If she gets
face.
look,
And
if
then
your mom gets carried away, right? Don't I stop her?
Yes. It's funny when you're making faces and she's yelling at us, and then she gets mad when we're laughing.
Well, I've told her. I said, Nicole, when they test you because you are so funny when you get mad. She looks like she's going to explode, don't she?
Her face getting all red and stuff.
Yes.
You can see the wrinkles showing.
And she's really not that mad. See, that's what I know about her. She's really not that mad.
No, she just yells at me for no reason. That's why I never come out.
You guys, no, you never come out of your room and you're talking to boys.
I'm not talking to anybody.
Yeah, well, I had all those boys, and then I finally started getting girls, and it's a lot different. I think that dad is more protective of girls, and I'm gonna tell you what. Let's say Nicole was abusive. Let's say I had a wife that was abusive to my daughters. I would get rid of that wife. I'm telling you, in a minute. And Nicole knows that. She's not abusive to them. She's she yells. Sometimes when I do a live, I got to be sure that they are getting into it because I know how people tear stuff up. But Nicole yells. And see, Jada's at that age now where she'll put it back. Kylie is starting to intimidate her mother, too.
If she's going to start yelling at me, I'm going to yell back.
But I got on you twice today for that because she wasn't bothering you and you started on her.
She's not mad at me over. She's not mad at me over a can of Pringles. A can of Pringles.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why because it was a special brand that was out. I think it was a sour cream and cheese. Yeah, because there's certain things she wants to eat. Right? And I told you, Jada, when we came back from the store, I said, look, these Pringles your mother picked out and they're for her. You got others.
Well, the first time I ate them, they were almost gone.
Because your mother was eating them.
Because I opened them.
But I told you not to get in them, right?
And I already had them.
I told you not to get in them, and you got in them anyway.
I already had them in my
So your mom goes to get those cheesy Pringles that she wanted, and you ate them. So yeah, she was pissed.
Because they were less than halfway gone. So I finished them.
Yes, that's right, Tawana. Tawana said, my mom, and she's a sweetheart too. Tawana said, my mom would have knocked me into next week if I told her to shut up. Well, I don't want either one of them hitting on each other. Now, both of these girls have got whoopings for me when they were younger.
Like once when I was like 8.
Yeah, and Jada got it a couple times. But when they get a certain age, you just don't do that anymore.
Jada was a bad kid.
And most of the Everybody that's in this chat right now that's actually talking, these are all females, good, strong females. You know, and I don't see a single guy in here, and that's what I get along with better.
Good.
I get along.
Guys are weird.
Because guys are weird.
They're a waste of time.
Yeah, Well, I just respond better. I grew up with all sisters, and they were older than me, all sisters. So I got babied. By females, and plus I know.
Would it be weird if I was your only daughter?
Well, you gotta imagine.
I have an eyelash in my eye.
You gotta imagine all.
She's not important anymore.
You gotta imagine all those boys I had, and then Jayla, who turned herself into a boy, and then you guys came along, huh?
But why? What was the point?
Yeah. Well, the thing about Jayla turning herself into a boy that I don't understand is that she doesn't like girls. She don't like girls.
My eyes look clear.
She turned herself into a gay man.
Why do my eyes look?
And I don't get it.
Why do my eyes look clear?
I don't know. Kind of says she'll punch you in the face and then
No.
it looks so clear. Don't start right here, you little brats.
She just made my.
Oh no! Call CBS. He called them little brats. You guys have always been spoiled by me. Well, I mean, like if your mom puts a restriction on you, I take it off, don't I? Oh, here it
What did
comes.
she get into?
Here it comes.
What did she get into? I'm like,
Nothing.
Nothing.
then what's all the yelling about?
There's no yelling.
What was being said then?
She's just worried about her.
No, she wants to yell at you so bad.
No, I thought I heard them.
We were talking about when Jada ate your Pringles, and you got mad about it.
Over some Pringles, man. Go buy more.
Look at that! There's that look right there.
They have no respect. No
You
respect
have
at
no
all.
respect.
They don't have no
Over some
respect.
Pringles.
They don't care about nobody else's property.
You don't care about me?
Excuse me?
Here it comes. Watch
You don't care
this.
about
Watch
me?
this.
Okay, you can ride the bus to school tomorrow by yourself.
Bro!
I don't know what is going on with Nicole and these kids.
I said she doesn't care about me. She's like, oh, you can ride the bus by yourself tomorrow. That person.
She does care about
She doesn't
you.
care if I get kidnapped on the bus.
Then she does.
She doesn't care if the bus gets
Why
into
is
a
her-
crash and I die in the middle of the street.
I was
You
saying
know,
both.
if she rode the bus with you,
I
the
was
same
saying-
thing would happen to her, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna send both. I'm gonna send you guys a counselor or something.
What is that?
No.
I was just sitting there minding my own business, and
She wanted to walk
Jada
up
just
to
came
you.
up and gave me a random hug. And these kids don't know what that means to a parent when they get a random hug just out of the blue. You might as well just walk up to them and hand them $1 million. It's the same thing. They laugh, they giggle. Like Kylie doesn't give out hugs. She's kind of like me. She don't like nobody touching her. You know what I'm saying? She's never just gave me a random hug, but Jada does. If I try to hug Kylie, or anybody tries to hug on Kylie, she kind of pulls off on her. My mom was like that too. She didn't like nobody touching her. Yeah, we do live in the real world. And you know, I look at the kids a little bit differently. Some people might look at their kids as they're an obstacle and they're in their way and they're annoying. I look at my kids as if they're a blessing. And I want to be around long enough to watch these two grow up and start their families. And when they have their families, I'm done making kids. And when they have their families, then I wouldn't feel so bad if I had to check out. You know what I mean?
Don't say that.
Oh, I'm going to check out. I'm going to check out. Your mom's going to check out. You're going to see that. That's why I keep telling you guys, you got to have a little more respect for each other. Unless you have some kind of accident before us, which I wouldn't wish that on nobody, to lose a child. You know, I'm 55 years old. I'll be lucky to have another 20 good years.
What?
Plus, I've been sick, and I can't hardly walk, and my back's messed up. My kidneys are messed up. Yeah, I'm starting to get the signs of it. And
Why do you care so much about me having a relationship with Jada when I have so many other siblings?
Because you guys fight too much. You act like you hate each other. And when you grow up and you're starting to have your babies and you're starting to have your family, you're going to depend on your sister to help you out.
I don't want kids. Kids are annoying.
Yeah, I didn't want them either.
You're annoying. You have 10 of them.
Yeah, I have 10 of them. But I didn't. Yeah, my back does hurt. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. Steph,
Don't be a
I'm telling you, Steph, I got osteoarthritis in my hip and in my back, and my L4 is bone on bone. My L5, I mean, and I've been dealing with it for years. But that's why I'm not working. Then on top of that, my kidneys started to go. I had to have the 2 surgeries. So, but the word I wouldn't wish back pain on nobody.
Dad,
Boomer.
Dad,
Yeah.
is your dad still alive?
You should
Yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah, you should.
You guys don't never come out here and say hi to him.
Well, I'm not that close with him like that.
My dad's 79. You've only met him a couple times. He lives in Texas. He can't travel anymore. You can pick up the phone and call him anytime. Yes, I am just falling apart. And these kids are not used to me being home. I've been home.
Like a month.
No, it's been.
A month?
No, it's been 2 months and 2 weeks.
It hasn't been that long.
Yes, it has.
It hasn't.
You've been going to school. Yes, it has.
I've only been in school for not even a month yet. Like, this will be my 3rd week.
I'm not used to not collecting fat paychecks either.
Fat paycheck.
I don't like that shit. But it is what it is. And until they get my back right, I'm not gonna be able to go back to work. And that's what it is. So as far as the thing with Hello Starlight goes, I want to hear more. My email is bryanst@gmail.com. Put it here. I'd like to know what she said on that panel. I'd also like to know that website that people keep talking about. That's what I want to know. And then I'll address it. I never doxed her entire family, though. What I did was I put up we were talking about parenting. And we were talking about the difference between one child and another. And my parenting was brought up by Hello Starlight. As if. The only one that knows the truth about my parenting is my kids. All right. So my parenting was brought up by Hello Starlight. So I brought up the difference between her and her sibling. Since parenting was being discussed. And granted, I did put up his Facebook, and there is a huge difference between them. But I'll tell you this. I did hear Randy talking about where Natasha put up that thing about Tracy's son, which I didn't even know about. I talk to her all the time. I didn't even know about it. And the thing is, I don't condone doxing. I don't condone this and that. But this is what came out of their mouth. But sometimes you just flip. Yeah. Well, I went looking because I wanted, if I'm going to be on somebody's side, I want to go look. I would say, yes, it's national news. And it's available on the news, what was put up. But I feel like it was only put up to aggravate. Not to draw attention to what was done, but to aggravate. And I can tell you that Tracy's not responsible for what her son did. He's responsible for what he did. She's not responsible for that. And I know that she's a good mom. You just can't control. Yeah, if NC puts it up, that's fine. She can put up the case. That's all right. I don't know. Steph, you weren't around when I had my true crime channel. You weren't around when I had all that up. But I had the whole thing up because I was doing true crime, and it does not exclude my son. Everything was up. So that's all there is to that. So if she wants to go through that and do that again, that's fine. That's on her. But people would know it's only because you're mad because I have an opinion, not because you have any concern for that child. That's a fact. So please send me the website that they're talking about, what Hello Starlight actually said, and I can determine whether or not I want to put out what I want to put out. That's all. Y'all have a good night. Peace and chicken grease.